And welcome back to the Midday Show. I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. We have our American Idol contestant Beane is coming home this weekend. Cryptocurrency is kind of out of this world right now, so Mark and I wanted to dive into that as well. And John Mackey's back to challenge us in Quizzo. It's May 4th, so you guys can probably guess what the topic may be. And then we're going to wrap it up here at the end. Mark, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready for Mackey. I'm ready.
This is, I think today, well, I just accidentally clicked the winner button.
Whoops.
I think today is going to be, I think a challenge is it's going to be a challenge for me today because it's May the 4th. And I will say that's not going to bode well for me. You may be on your own today.
I like Star Wars. I've seen them all. I'm not sure, I'm not a Star Wars freak, so I might have to phone a friend for some of these. And apparently you were not that Star Wars friend, but
no,
I was thinking that one of these nights, when we show up at a Quizzo establishment, I'd heard that they don't want us to show up because they know then everyone else will leave because they know they can't compete. So we'll have to do it very stealthily and unannounced because we'll scare the other contestants away with our vast array of knowledge.
Unfortunately, I just don't think it will be today. We'll find out, though. We're going to bring Mackey on here after we spin the wheel later. But first, Beane, who competed on American Idol, made it to the top 12. I thought had a very fair shot at getting into the top 9, but unfortunately did not. Saturday, May 8th, this upcoming weekend, he will be at the Community Arts Center here, and he's going to do a collaboration with the Uptown Music Collective. If you've ever heard of them before, I've been to a couple of their shows, and I really, really enjoyed them. He is basically going to do his first at-home performance since coming off of Idol. I've always wondered kind of what it's like for people after they've had kind of that success and that roller coaster ride and kind of what comes next. And you always kind of assume the homecoming would eventually come and some local concerts and stuff like that. So we're going to get our fair share here in Williamsport with Beane.
It's cool too, the way they're going to do it. He's given so many props through the run to Uptown and what he's learned at the collective and how it helped propel. Because I guess his family said when he was young, he was painfully shy, and kind of he grew into the performer. And it'll be cool too because I'm sure he'll do duets, and I'm sure he'll have the students accompanying him with background musicians playing drums and guitars and things like that. And depending on, he's obviously so talented and has so much diversity in what he can do. So they can pick songs that work for the other singers, and he can do duets with them. So I would suspect that the song range will probably be all over the map. And that would be fun because, I'd like to see him sing some rock and roll. And when I got to interview his family, they talked about him singing. He sang Black Sabbath at one of the Uptowns, and they're like, he's really good. So that would be fun. It would be fun to see him do a variety, and just, I think it would obviously be a thrill for the kids to be on stage with him, because he's become such a national star.
Yep. I actually already have my ticket, so I will be there Saturday to check it out. And I've been to some other Uptown shows, and I've always enjoyed them. Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what they do. Like you said, I'm sure they'll do some duets and some different things. So excited for it. So if you haven't yet, see if there's any tickets left. I personally haven't looked today, but again, he will be in Williamsport Saturday, May 8th at the Community Arts Center. So be sure to check it out. And if you want to, see if there's any tickets left.
Are you going to sing with them? Maybe they'll have open mic.
It would be pretty, can you imagine? I would be brutal. It would be bad. The other thing today that's out of this world, and you and I had talked about it a month or two before, and it's just, for me, it's one of those things that's just happening faster and faster than what I thought. But you're kind of coming to grips with the idea, and we had some people in the office this morning too, kind of everybody's trying to wrap their head around it and everybody's trying to get a grip on it. But today it's kind of out of this world again. As the market started to kind of turn red, cryptocurrencies such as Dogecoin have kind of gone skyrocketing into the green. And this is not going to stop, I guess, is where we can start there.
Well, it's up. The last I checked, it wasn't up 50% today, but it was 44. So it basically went from 30 some cents a share to 60 some cents a share. Within like in January, February, it was hovering between like 3 and 7 cents a share. And then it jumped and then it jumped again. But when you sit and talk to adults, I'll say adults like over the age of 40, they just, because they can't touch it and because they can't, they're really having a tough time grasping. And the Oakland A's just announced that they just sold, I guess, their first ticket where the person bought the ticket using Dogecoin. So I know the Dallas Mavericks have said, because Mark Cuban's big into Doge, and he has said they will accept it. I don't know if they have yet, or I don't know if it's next season or how that works. But that's basketball now. This is baseball. And these old school, institutionalized businesses that are saying, if you want to buy tickets with Dogecoin, go ahead. And this is even in a market where, because of COVID restrictions, the ticket sales are fewer. It's like the supply is much more scarce, and they're still taking it. So it's a changing world, and there's just a great portion of the adults of the world who just can't grasp it.
No, and I don't know if you recently saw or not, but Trevor Lawrence actually just accepted a sponsorship deal, and I believe it's with one of the cryptocurrency platforms, and his deal is all in crypto. So he's not getting paid in any currency other than crypto. So no dollars. It's all just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I forget the last one. And that's his payment. Like, they're just paying him in cryptocurrency, and he's just going to let it sit in the platform and hopefully let it grow. So you even have NFL rookies, like in their first sponsorship deals, like accepting this instead of just like cold cash or just, a check. So it's not going anywhere. The part that I've tried I had to wrap my head around it myself, and I've tried to explain to like my parents and other people. I've always said, like, what is the dollar? Like, when you really think about it, the dollar is a fiat currency, and it used to be attached to the gold standard. It used to be attached to something in its value. But really, in the last couple of decades, we've gone away from that. It really isn't attached to the gold standard anymore. So a dollar is just, the only difference is really like, one is a fiat currency that you can hold, whereas the other one is just digital and you can't hold it in your hand. But the idea of them being attached to something, or it's really just an agreement that we've made that I'll give you this dollar and you agree that it is a dollar. And in my opinion, what's happening more and more is people are just deciding this is a Dogecoin. And if you accept the fact that it's a Dogecoin, then we can exchange it. And so that's the question that I always bring to people is like, what do we really think the dollar is? And I think it's a fair question because I don't know if people have really asked themselves that. And once you do, it's not that different.
The question I'm asking is, what's the adjective you use before currency? Fiat?
Fiat?
What's that mean?
I can look up the exact definition. Essentially, it's the idea that it's just an agreed upon. It's not actually set off of a standard. It's just the idea that you and I agree it's a dollar.
That's a new word for me. That does not give me confidence going into Quizzo when you're firing out adjectives that I don't know.
Yeah, so fiat money is a government-issued currency that is not backed by a commodity such as gold. So back in the day, it used to be based off of the gold standard. Like, you could only have so many dollars floating around based off of how much gold there was. And we have like thrown that to the wayside. Like, we just don't abide by that anymore. So really, like, what is it based off of? Like, what is the dollar actually?
No, I get it. I just learned something today. I am all the smarter now.
Yeah,
I'm with you. It's interesting. It's hard. We can't say. For those of you people who don't know, who aren't sports fans, Trevor Lawrence was the best quarterback in the country last year. He was the first pick in the draft. I put a good amount of Doge at 26 cents.
So we have a Facebook user. I put a good amount of Doge in at 26 cents and just 2 stocks of Ethereum. Ethereum's the interesting one too, because you and I had talked about it. Ethereum has a little more to it. Like, it's backed up. It's an actual platform. It's an actual exchange. So really, it's just the idea of basically it would be like if Google Chrome created their own currency and they would have created like Chromium, right? And they had this way of exchanging, and it was agreed upon that it was worth something, and that's how you exchange data, and you would exchange it for so many Chromium. That's essentially what Ethereum is. So there is an actual platform, and there is some actual backing to Ethereum that makes sense. I'm not an Ethereum specialist, but I had looked into it enough to kind of understand that analogy and how it makes sense. So at least that's backed up by something, maybe something Mark can wrap his head around. Would it help if it actually was something like Ethereum actually is a thing? Does that help?
If you could see it, yeah. There's most of us that are, yeah. It would help. It would help. Hey, we're old. We grew up in a world where you could see everything.
All right, no, I understand. Real quick, Weiss Markets, maybe they'll be accepting Dogecoin any day now. It's only a matter of time.
I mean, that's a serious point. Like certain brick and mortar businesses will start doing it, and whether it's the summer of 2021, whether it's the summer of 2022, but it's coming. They all won't accept all the cryptocurrencies because there's a bunch of them out there. But yeah, when the Dallas Mavericks and the Oakland A's are, then other people will too. So right
now in the world, there's 1,300 places that accept crypto. 1,300 different businesses that will actually take your Dogecoin and will actually let you use it with something.
We could actually add that 1,301. We will take your crypto. You won't get anything in return. We will accept it. So we can add our names to the list. But thank you to Wise Markets for all that they do for us and kind of all they do for the community. We have a $25 gift card, a $50 gift card, a $100 gift card on the prize wheel. We also have Eat and Run. We have the Moon and Raven, and we have the Break Room, and we have a winner that was, so all you got to do is go to Facebook, join the Midday Show group. I'll spit out a winner. Sometimes Jeff will hit the wrong button, and the winner will pop up early, and we'll get a little glimpse. So I have no idea who this is going to be. So, Jeff, why don't you reveal it?
I believe today's winner is going to be, are we going Rosalind or Rosalind Winter?
It's Rosalind. Rosalind Winter. Okay. Who knew that was coming? I mean, unless you were really paying attention, you saw that a little early. So it's good. It makes it realize that we're live. We're in living color. Here we go.
Here it is. Here's a spin. There it is. You were waiting for it. We just had it. That's the jackpot. $100 gift certificate to Weiss Markets for Rosalind Winter. Congratulations, Rosalind.
Very nice. Look at that. We'll
$100.
Make her happy. Sorry, I had to go blow my pollen-ridden nose, because I didn't want to have snot running down my face during Quizzo.
No, it's understandable. I'm gonna listen. It could make no difference. I could run away right now before we play Quizzo, and I don't know if it's gonna help you at all.
You'll be fine. You've never seen Star Wars?
I mean, before Mackie comes on, because maybe he'll be able to. I don't even want to say justify it, but I've seen maybe 2 of the Star Wars.
Well, maybe all the questions aren't. I mean, it is. I would bet my bottom dollar that at least one of the questions is Star Wars related, but maybe they're not all. You never know. You got a chance.
Yeah, we'll find out. So real quick, give me a second. Let's bring Mackie on to the show. This always takes a hot second. Mr. Mackie, how are you? Do you get Mr. Mackie when you're out and about? Hold on one second. Always takes a second for your volume to kick in. There you go, John.
Mr. Mackey, I mean, maybe when I'm at Kimball's, the college kids, but yeah, no, it definitely makes me feel old when people call me Mr. Mackey. So,
no, understandable. So I'm terrified of today because it's May the 4th be with you. And I can count on one hand how many times I've seen a Star Wars movie.
That's a shame.
Amen.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, this is some of the most iconic movie franchise ever, possibly. I mean, I can't think of another one. My earliest memory of going to see a movie was seeing The Empire Strikes Back in theaters. I think that was like 1981. So I was like 5 years old. And I have this vague memory of sitting in the theater, and I do remember I spilled a soda right on my mom's lap, like halfway through. And to her credit, we stayed for the entire movie. I mean, my kids are spill a soda on me, we're out.
Understandable. So,
well, Jeff will appreciate this story. With one of the, I don't remember which one it was. My oldest daughter is now a freshman in college. When she was a freshman in high school, one of the Star Wars was released a day that we played basketball at Loyal Sock when I was coaching at Montoursville. So we had gone online to order tickets because we were afraid there was going to be sold out. And we were like, we went to the latest show. We went to like the 9:45 show in Williamsport. So as soon as the game went off, I didn't get on the bus. I got in the car. My daughter, who was at the game, we got in the car. We went right up. And they were like, we got there 45 minutes early. And there were like 3 people in the whole place. So, but we were jacked. I get it. I don't understand how, but then I'm not a Lord of the Rings guy. I've tried Lord of the Rings and I don't understand that. So I guess,
that's the weirdest part for me and anyone who knows me. I'm in on a lot of like the trilogy stuff. And like, I love the Lord of the Rings. I love the Hobbit. I love the Harry Potters, like a lot of these bigger like things that kind of lend itself. Star Wars is just the one I'm kind of like out on. Like, I'm just not a fan of it.
Well, you're wrong, but that's okay.
Well, Jeff, I hate to crush your spirit, but yes, all 5 of these questions today are in honor of Star Wars.
All right, bring it. Let's go.
So here we go. I will remind you guys, before we start these questions, you're 10 for 20, so you're batting 500.
Well, here, and do this because just so we don't forget, remind us what your schedule is before we get started.
Yeah, so it's Tuesday. We're at Bullfrog Brewery tonight at 8:30. Tomorrow, 3 places to play. You have the Rusty Rail in Mifflinburg at 6:30. You have Kimball's in Williamsport at 8, and Brickyard at 9. And then on Thursdays, we are back at the Town Tavern in Lewisburg, and that is at 7 o'clock. So.
And we would say the college crowd is more at Kimball's than at the Brickyard?
Yes, definitely college crowd at Kimball's, correct.
So that's where all the really smart kids, because they're the higher learning. That's the best group you got. If
you ask anything pre-2000, I might get run out of the place. But if you want to feel old, Mark, go hang out.
Listen, I don't need your help to feel old, buddy. I do that every day.
So, all right, if you guys are ready,
let's go.
Question. That question is, and there's 2 answers here. You need both of them. What 2 actors have played Obi-Wan Kenobi on the big screen?
Oh, Alec Guinness was the original one. And then is it Liam Neeson?
That is, well, no, it wasn't. But I mean, if that's your final answer, then
yeah, who was the second one?
The second one is Ewan McGregor. Yeah, who is going to have his own standalone Obi-Wan.
Yeah, whatever. All right, I got half.
You got half.
I'll tell you a quick little funny story about that. Alec Guinness apparently was a good actor, like a known actor before he played the original Obi-Wan. And he tells this really funny story that when he was filming it, like nobody knew it was going to be any good. So they told him that, like, here's your salary, whatever, and we'll give you like 1.5% of the proceeds. And then he's like, later on when they were talking about it, as it got more to fruition, they're like, and your 1% of the proceeds. And he's like, wait a minute, I thought I was getting and he said, like, his number kept coming down because at the beginning they're like, yeah, we'll give you 2.5%, we'll give you 10% because nobody's going to come watch us anyway. And then it got so I'm sure he did just fine, but he told the story is very funny. All right.
So he was also knighted. He was Sir Alec Guinness, so which is quite an accomplishment.
Was he knighted by Darth Vader or Yoda? Who does the knighting?
I think in real life. But.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, all right. Question number 2: what character has the very first line in the very first Star Wars movie? So the original Star Wars movie. What character has the first line of dialogue?
Jeff, you want to take a shot at this one?
Nope.
I thought it was C-3PO.
Wasn't it a robot?
Yes, that would be.
I'm pretty sure it was a robot.
And it wasn't.
Are they called droids?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with I was thinking I'm gonna go with C-3PO. That's my best guess.
And Jeff, I'm guessing you're just gonna go along for the ride here.
As long as that thing's a robot, I'm in.
It's a robot, yes.
Droid is the correct term, but yes, it was C-3PO, yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here, I give you another little quick. When they were doing or not, he is officially C3PO, but 3PO to his friends. When they were trying to devise the script, he ended up with like a very British, stuffy, proper accent. The other one was like a trucker, really like, derogatory kind of sailor attitude. And so they kind of wavered between the two. And now that we've been through the hoity-toity C3PO, it's almost impossible to think of it the other way. But those were the two thoughts that they went with.
All right.
At least that's what I'd heard.
So question 3, what hyperspace route did Han Solo famously make in the Millennium Falcon in just under 12 parsecs?
Parsecs. He made it on. I knew it was parsecs.
Yeah, which is a unit of distance, not time, but who's keeping track? It's also mentioned a few times in the most recent movies that came out that Han Solo.
Yeah, I know. Can we come back to this one? Can we skip this one and come back to it?
Okay, this is a first. I'll give you some time to think about it. We can move on to the next one. If you want, that's fine with me.
I have a friend who, if he was watching, would unfriend me right now because I knew it was parsecs. Oh God! All right, go ahead. Go on to the next one.
Next question. All right, this is a first. The first for Quizzo on Midday Show. We're gonna let you skip one and come back to it, but don't forget this. All right. Your next question is: to date, how many Star Wars? These would be live-action Star Wars movies have been released in theaters. So I'm looking for a number here. How many Star Wars live-action Star Wars movies have been released in theaters?
Well, there were 9 because there were 3 different trilogies, and then there was Rogue One. And then they did the Han Solo movie. 11.
Jeff, should I defer to you at all, or we're just taking marks?
I was going to say 12, but I knew that I knew just with the trilogies. I was thinking 9, and then I know the new one, and then I know the Solo. I know that there was one released where, spoiler alert, I know there was one released where everybody dies, but I don't know if that was a movie release or if that was a streaming release. So I'm hesitant between 11 and 12. So I will I'll defer to Mark now that he heard my thought process. But that, if I was by myself, I would have guessed 12, but emphasis on guess.
Okay. Well, if 11 is your answer, 11 would be correct. 11 Star Wars films released in theaters. Yes, the nice. 3 trilogies. And then you had, of course, Rogue One and Solo, which not a lot of people went to see. Only made about $35 at the theater. Not good.
How much did it make?
About $35 million in the theater. So
I really think did you see Solo?
I did.
You could go with a young Luke Skywalker like they did in some of the early ones, and then when they made Obi-Wan younger, but like Han Solo was what's his name? I can't even think of his name. Who played Han Solo?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Like, you couldn't have anyone else be Han Solo other than Harrison Ford, and I think that's what kind of did it.
Yeah, they had a lot of problems. They got rid of the director halfway through too. I don't know if you know that. Ron Howard.
I didn't know that.
Ron Howard had to step in halfway through that movie to finish it off. So I think they had a lot of production issues. So I think it was doomed from the start. But
okay.
Are we ready to go back to question 3, or do we just want to hit question 5?
Let's keep going because I can't come up with it yet. Go ahead.
All right. Your question number 5. In the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special marked the first appearance of what popular character? Now, it was an animated appearance. Star Wars Holiday Special was a live action, but this character's appearance was animated. However, it was his first appearance.
My immediate guess would be Yoda, because Yoda wasn't in the first one. And it would have been between Star Wars and Empire. So who else would have been? Because Chewbacca was obviously in the first one. All the droids were in the first one. So who? I can't think of any, unless you want to go with something stupid like an Ewok that didn't come up to the third ones, but
Go with your gut.
I would go with Yoda.
Okay, well, you would be incorrect. The answer is Boba Fett. Boba Fett made his first appearance in the
I actually know who that is.
holiday special. Yes, he's making quite a comeback now with this Mandalorian.
Yes, I did know.
He's actually going to be getting his own series, I believe, or it's going to be kind of the next season of the Mandalorian. I don't know, but I tell you what, if you've never seen the Star Wars holiday special, I challenge you to make it through the entire thing. The only way you can find it is if you Google it and watch it online, because you can't buy it anywhere. I mean, it aired once on TV and got such terrible reviews that they just kind of tried to erase it from history.
There was some, I thought you were going somewhere with this, and I was really going to be impressive and show off my vast knowledge. There's some Star Wars Christmas album of the 70s, probably around this time, and John Bon Jovi has a song on it or sang on it or something, and this is before Runaway, and like one of his first professional appearances was on like the Star Wars Christmas album or something like that.
No, that is some deep Star Wars knowledge there. I did not know that.
Okay.
I might use that as a question tonight. Actually, come out for Bullfrog. You never know.
You should.
So you guys are you got 1, 2, and 4 right, 5 wrong, and we're still waiting on the answer to question number 3.
It's the something run, the kettle run. It's close to that. I'll say the kettle run, but that's not right. But I'm close.
I mean, just you're right there. It's the Kessel Run.
Ah!
Now,
see, I'm going to count that.
Now,
I'm going to count that.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you guys were playing Quizzo at a bar, say the Bullfrog tonight, one of my rules is spelling doesn't count. Now, I know if you put down the kettle run on your answer sheet, you're in the ballpark. You're right there. I'm going to give you credit for that one if you're playing live. So, yes, you guys went 4 for 5 today. Very impressive. I was getting a little nervous when I signed on and saw that you were talking about cryptocurrency and not Star Wars. I thought you were doomed, but you did a good job.
Mark saved us.
Story of my life.
One more shameless plug, Mackie.
Yeah, sure. Bullfrog tonight, 8:30. Tomorrow, Rusty Rail, 6:30 p.m. That's in Mifflinburg. Kimball's at 8, down by Penn College. Brickyard's at 9. And then Town Tavern at Lewisburg at 7 p.m.
All right. Well, we appreciate it. We'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully Mark won't have to carry us again.
And I'll tell you this before I let you go. I have a buddy who's a Star Wars freak. And one year for Christmas, I was walking through a store, and I actually bought him a life-size cardboard cutout, like we have in the background here, a life-size cardboard cutout of Princess Leia in like the iron bikini when she was chained to Jabba the Hutt. And it was like you would have thought I gave him $1 million. He loved it.
Well, I promise next week we'll get back to 5 random trivia questions. Last week I hit you with the Williamsport theme. This week was Star Wars. We'll get back to some not regular.
This was good, just out of my wheelhouse.
You got to go with like 2008 rap music, so Jeff has a chance, and I know nothing. You got it. There are very few categories that Jeff has me, but that would be one of them.
That would be a fun list to make, is the categories where Jeff would have to carry Mark.
2008 rap. You can put it right at the top.
Fiat currencies.
I'll get to it.
Fiat. That you right there. That's it.
Fiat. It's F-I-A-T.
Well, Fiat's a car. I know that. But Fiat, I don't know. I did. I learned something today. The Kessel Run, and I'm proud of myself for that one. I had to dig deep into the recesses to get that one.
No, you carried us. All right, John, we appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you next week.
Hey, we'll see you soon.
All right. That was Not good on my part. I apologize to the team. I apologize to the squad. Let me say this before we move on, because it is like a gap. And you and I have talked about like 80s and how like I struggle sometimes with 80s movies and different things, just that time period. The weird thing about Star Wars for me is, like I said, I am in on like, I like Harry Potter. I love The Lord of the Rings. I like The Hobbit. Like all of those trilogies and the things that you associate that like kind of go together. The other crazy part is I love space movies. Like I love Apollo 13. I love The Martian and Interstellar and Armageddon. And like if it's a space movie, I'm kind of in on it. Like my movie ticket is already bought. So it's weird that Star Wars connects with these two things that I kind of both things I'm in on, and I don't like it. Like I just never enjoyed Star Wars the way I feel like I should have.
Well, I think what kind of the brilliance of it is, the hook of the story that the bad guy was his father that you didn't know, that the other characters, like Chewbacca, when we create Martians, they're all like they're so often green and lizardy and stuff. Like Chewbacca was a big teddy bear, and he didn't speak, but everyone loved him. Like nobody hated Chewbacca. And then in the second one, you brought in Yoda. Like who's the genius is going to be this little green thing that talks about, But I think that was part of that there was the twist, like the Luke, I'm your father, is one of the great twists in movie history, and kind of the way they delved that, and Han Solo was the comic relief, and he was great, and but there was an ugliness to some of the characters, but the main Martian people were so lovable, and like even R2-D2, who didn't speak, but he was adorable. So I think that was part of it, that we didn't make these ugly creatures that I say they didn't make these ugly creatures that were like, they were the lovable teddy bear type thing. And Vader's one of the great villains of all, and just the breathing. Well, you know this too. The guy who, James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader. You knew that, right?
Yes.
He was not in the suit. There was an actor in the suit that they recorded and the guy did all the voice parts.
Okay.
And then when it was over, I don't know if George Lucas is like, we can do this better, or if he had this plan all along. But apparently, legend has it that the guy who was in the costume thought that his voice was going to be there, and then when he went to see it in the movie, he was like, "Wait a minute, that's not me." So I don't know where the truth lies in that, but it's somewhere in that. And then this is all the Star Wars stuff that you can look up if you want to. I know you do. I know you want to.
Yeah, I probably won't, it's nice that you're telling me now, saving me the time.
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us again, especially on Tuesdays for Quizzo. And thank you to Weiss Markets. Thank you to NorthcentralPa.com. I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. And hopefully go enjoy the nice weather.
I wonder if tomorrow he does all Cinco de Mayo. Is it all Mexican questions tomorrow?
In Spanish.
There you go. There you go. Hey, we'll see you.
Have a good one.